This is my secret pro tip that I found a couple years ago, and it's amazing. The easiest way to perfect your microblading pre-draw is by correcting one brow mapping mistake that I see all newbies make. In this video, I'm going to show you how the number one brow mapping mistake that I see all the time is going to ruin your microblading. For those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Christy and I'm the owner of Boss Brows. I've been in the industry for 9 years now, specializing in microblading and microblading training. For those of you who are just looking to really step up your microblading and build your business, make sure to hit that subscribe button because I come out new videos every Tuesday. So what is that number one brow mapping mistake that we've all made? We've all done it. Okay, so first off, I apologize that this isn't like perfect lighting right now and there's tons of shadows, but the purpose is to see the whiteboard. The number one mistake that I see when newbies are learning how to brow map is their lines. Your brow mapping lines should be super crisp and fine. You don't want these thick, uneven lines. It's helpful to have dense lines, which means that you can just actually go over that same brow mapping line so that you can see it better and so that it also won't fade off when you remove your numbing cream. I see someone struggling trying to get that perfect shape, but what you see here are lines that aren't even and they're not crisp and they're thicker in some areas. What happens when your pre-draw looks more like this versus this is the baseline of your eyebrow or the microblading strokes that you're laying down at the baseline are going to be uneven. It's not going to be a very crisp baseline. Right here, I started my first stroke from the bottom of my brow mapping line. But watch this. Let's say I want to do another stroke. I technically started my stroke from the brow mapping line. See how if I keep filling in strokes going from the brow mapping line, using this pre-draw as my guide, watch what happens when we remove these lines. That's the best I can do. But you see how this line right here is not crisp? I mean, it goes all over the place. Now watch what happens when you have a clean, crisp brow mapping line. Again, all I'm doing is just drawing random strokes purely to show you the baseline. See right here how every stroke starts at the baseline? So if I were to remove this pre-draw, every stroke would be on this invisible line and it would look clean and crisp. So this is what you don't want to do. I'm going to show you a couple examples using some of my students' practice, and keep in mind that they were just learning how to brow map, so these were some of their first models. But it's really easy to fix this one mistake by cleaning up your lines. If you want to perfect your brow mapping, I would definitely recommend getting these precise Q-tips. If you've seen some of my other brow mapping videos, you'll see me talk a lot about these precise Q-tips. Now they're super tiny, way more narrow than an actual Q-tip. You can find these Q-tips on Amazon and I will post the link in the description below. But basically what you would want to do, clean up your line by taking your Q-tip, dipped in a little bit of alcohol, and straighten out that line. Pay attention to the heads of the brow because you can see how there's more than one line. It almost looks like there's a double line. This is an easy fix because in this particular case, all she's going to need to do is extend her lines. Now look at the final microblading results. Do you notice how the left brow at the head is much thinner? Well, that's because she went off of that bottom brow mapping line. This is why clean, crisp lines are so imperative. Look at this brow. You can see how clean that baseline is on both of these brows, and this comes from a perfect pre-draw. Now check out this pre-draw, how clean and crisp those lines are. Obviously, lots of practice. These are other examples of microblading pre-draws, and you can see here the lines are too thick and they just don't look finished overall. This one, the lines are just a little dense, so you would definitely want to take those precise Q-tips to clean up the lines here. And when you correct that number one brow mapping mistake, you'll see your microblading look like this. This is some of my students' work, and as you can see, their work has progressed tremendously. So it just comes down to cleaning up your brow mapping and practice, practice, practice. I will post the link in the description below for the Boss Brows online microblading training courses, as well as the link to where you can buy those amazing precise Q-tips from Amazon. Thanks for watching, and make sure to check out my other brow mapping videos on YouTube.